Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andrew. Welcome to my house. So I'm here on the front porch of my new project. Just a little backstory to fill y'all in. I moved from New York City about a year ago to Georgia. I've been renting the beautiful space that you usually see me in. That's where I started my channel, but I've been looking for a more permanent place to live here and something that will be a better long-term investment. And so I decided that I wanted to buy a house here. I also recently became a realtor, so it made my search a little bit easier because, you know, every time a new house would pop up on the market, we like drop everything and run. But it's been a pretty tough market. So it was good to be able to buy in this market, but part of that comes with the fact that the house is definitely a project. This house was built in 1930, so it has been standing here for quite a while. I'm gonna take y'all on a tour today because I know you want to see it. Hopefully over the next, couple months to years, I will have a number of projects happening in this house, and hopefully you will be interested in following me along on that journey. There's nothing more wonderfully southern than a front porch. I did a little bit of digging and research and found where this house was listed in 2017. You see here the color scheme on the door. The house used to look a lot more like this in general. A lot of really specific sort of historical detail, really bold colors. The ceiling was green and the railings were spindled in a bunch of colors. Honestly, not my style as much, but I think if it had been on the house, I would have left it to keep the historical accuracy. But as we are now, it's serviceable. Moving on inside, one of the big things I was looking for in these old homes was an entryway like this. I like that all the rooms are open to each other and that there's a nice landing space here. You're not just walking into a living space. Some of you may know also that I am a choreographer, and so I like to keep a certain amount of open space in my house to be able to move. And so I'm thinking that I'll probably put the really large mirrors in here and put some cool lighting and maybe some art and just keep this space mostly open. The front door, there's some sort of sticky residue on it and it's been painted probably a million times. I would love to strip that down to the original wood if I can. Let's go to the guest bedroom first since you were my guest. Coming in here, so the floors are original through some of the house and then original but painted through other parts of the house. I'm probably not going to go through the trouble to strip the floor down and seal everything, restain everything. Guest bedroom here. There are 4 fireplaces in the house. Looks like they have all of the original trim work and surrounds, but I'm guessing this was probably tiled at some point and it is no longer. That would probably be a project. This particular bedroom had no closet. This is probably a front parlor or something at some point. So all of this closet stuff has been added. So you can see here, these moldings are fluted and have the little rosette looking thing in the corner. And then anything that's been added is not. So one of my big priorities is going to be to try to keep everything, stick to as much original moldings and doors as possible to keep that consistent. So if this closet stays here, which I think it will, I'm going to try to replace this door with another door from another part of the house. More on that later. Not sure what to do with these storage things up here. I definitely want to keep the storage, but I hate how the cabinets look. It reminds me actually a lot of my apartment in New York, which was, again, incredibly helpful for storage, but not the best for visuals. Most of the windows in the home are original, which is not great for resale because they're not super energy efficient. However, I mean, they're beautiful, and replacing the windows with something like this that was new would be astronomically expensive. So probably not gonna do that. Heading on straight across, this is the room that we are probably gonna spend the most time in together. This is gonna be my studio. Here you have the 3 windows out toward the front porch. Definitely want a lot of light in my workspace, and I like to be open to see what's going on outside as well. Nice windows in here. Again, with the painted floors, eventually I'll probably want the floors and the walls and everything to be white to give you that kind of Parisian atelier kind of vibe, but for now it's fine. Beautiful original mirror and tile work here. The tile is quite damaged. So we'll have to see what happens. I would love to see if I could find something similar and piece this together. But if not, I'll just try to replace with something similar. I want to keep whatever sort of historical detail is here as much as possible, but of course put my spin on it. Here we have another large space I'm gonna use as my living room. I chose this to be the living room space because it's a little bit darker, a little bit more intimate. I feel like, you know, if you're sitting on a couch or you're watching TV or whatever, I want a little bit more intimacy, a little bit more depth. So not sure if I want to keep this floor color, not sure if I want to keep this wall color, but you know, color is pretty low on the priorities list at this point when there's, you know, a broken window and a sink right here that is spewing water onto the floor. Yeah, so here we have an awkward little half bath. There's, you know, some plumbing issues. The toilet has been here on an angle. It is actually hooked up, it's not just sitting there. What we're gonna try to do, I think, after we assess everything, is possibly take out this wall or bump that wall over a little bit. It backs up to a pantry, like an exceptionally large pantry. So if the toilet could tuck away a little bit into that area, that would be better. These are not original floors, these are like crappy laminate, so everything's coming out. Little window here. Someone who owned this house at some point was a little crafty, which, you know, I appreciate a little DIY moment, but we want to not be crafty. Coming here into the back, this is the kitchen and this is the gut job, for a couple of reasons. Bad floors, bad cabinets, bad countertops, and our hot water heater is actually in this corner behind the wall, which anyone that knows anything about building codes knows that's a no-no. So all that has to come out anyway. I think I'm gonna try to save the sink and the faucet. I'm not mad about that. I love the beadboard vibe, but even the ceiling in here, a lot of the ceilings are textured throughout the house, which is not super great, but you know, they're high enough where they're lightly textured enough that you can't really tell, and I'll probably leave them. This is not only, you know, it's been patched and, you know, everything, it's dropping in this corner, so that all needs to come out. We're also going to be able to access the attic through here, which we have not been able to do yet, so hopefully we won't have any skeletons in the closet there. This is that pantry that I was talking about. Again, not really an amount of space that I would need personally, and I would rather pull this wall over and tuck the toilet in there for the bathroom. That's just me. Heading on back here into sort of atrium dining space. So this originally was the exterior of the house. You can see that's what the siding on the house used to look like. There's that window to the bathroom. So they have added this part of the house at some point, which I think actually was a pretty well done addition, all things considered. I've looked at a lot of historic homes like this, and it can be really hit or miss. There are 2 skylights that were added here at the top, and then there's a door out to the really beautiful deck, and a little dining space here in front of the window. You can see the shed out back. Deck is in really good shape, actually. It's a mess, but in good shape. At one point, this house was owned by someone that really gave it a lot of love and landscaping. So you can see little details here, like the path that goes all the way up the side. There's paths that go all the way down into the yard as well. This used to be a little pond. There is some water in it still. It's rained here quite a bit recently, but it's sort of filled up with plant life, so maybe that will be revived as a pond. Again, more flagstone that heads down. There's some sort of stairs down over in that area. Beautiful plants throughout the yard. It just needs quite a bit of pruning and shaping. Here we are at the back of the house. Yeah, so there's been some work done to the outside. There was vinyl siding that was put over the original siding. In some places, I think they didn't want to patch the original siding because it was expensive. And, you know, there's some interesting work up on the fascia boards there. The roof has been replaced, but they did some interesting work on, you know, the way they worked on the outside of the house. So yeah, there's definitely some work to be done here. So most of the space is gonna stay as is. I just wanna, of course, take out the floors. These are, again, the crappy laminate. Over here in this area, so that door right there actually goes into the master bathroom that has, you know, that connects through to the master bedroom as well. I think the plan here is to seal up that door entirely. This little area right here is quite awkward. You can see there's the skylight in there, which was a great fix, but then they have these sort of almost up to the ceiling walls. On this side, you have a washer and dryer hookup. And then on this side, there's just closet space. I've never been able to find pictures where they put doors on these closets, so they're just kind of awkwardly here. My parents actually had the idea, which was great, to seal up this whole area, to take this wall across and then all the way up to the ceiling, and to make that into another bathroom. I would love for this house to have another bathroom for resale value, and for practicality, honestly. So we're gonna try to seal this up and configure this whole area into a bathroom. So going back in, this connects through to the main hall, and then here we are in the master bedroom. So this is one of the rooms with the tallest ceilings. The ceilings are a little bit different in each room. Again, fireplace, again, the crafty previous owner, but there is some nice original ironwork there, and of course the original moldings. This closet was added at some point to the house. It sort of dips into the other bedroom a little bit. I definitely will leave that to keep some closet space. This closet is frankly not super usable. It's quite shallow, but you know, the doors are nice, the moldings are nice, so we're gonna keep that as well. Floor in here is beautiful. It does have some damage overall, so we'll just be sort of spot treating that. Bed will probably go on this wall. And here we are headed into the master bathroom. So this space is a mess, but I love it. It has beautiful windows and original tongue and groove wood ceiling that looks like it was painted at one point and has been stripped down. I kind of love that look. So I think this space really has a lot of potential. This right here is the door that opens up to what will be the other bathroom. So that is gonna be sealed off to be a wall for a couple of reasons. One, because I think that's not gonna be practical to have a door between two bathrooms. And secondly, because this bathroom is a little bit tricky space-wise. There's this awkward corner shower that, you know, it's serviceable, but I don't think that most people would want to take a shower in that shower. So layout TBD at this point, but we're hoping that sealing up that wall will free up some flexibility in terms of how this room is arranged. The tub is beautiful. Again, crafty. Probably gonna get a solid coat of black paint. But yeah, it has a lot of potential and it's gonna be really beautiful. Sink will probably stay for now. I'm gonna be looking for options of a sink that can be on the wall and kind of tuck away, but also keeping some counter space because, you know, I don't wanna be, I have stuff. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed the tour. I have been here all morning taking tons of video, tons of pictures. I have a feeling this is going to be a pretty big before and after moment, so I just want to make sure the before is well documented. I'm going to be doing the after a little bit at a time here on my channel, so if you're interested in checking that out, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. This is the biggest reissued situation yet, and I hope you'll be there for the journey. Thanks, guys. Bye.